there may be quite a few people listening or even watching this who are maybe on a similar path to yourself, where they've struggled with certain aspects of the role day to day due to being neurodiverse. I guess for anyone going through that period right now who are maybe struggling and potentially looking for answers, are there any kind of nuggets or snippets or certainly experiences that you've kind of been through that you could share that might benefit somebody on that journey?
Yes, this is a hard question, right? And this I'm becoming emotional just thinking about this stuff, right? I've struggled most of my career feeling like I'm about to be fired, right? That I'm failing in some way, right? That because I've forgotten about the meeting or the thing, or whenever end of year reviews just have filled me with dread.
Yeah.
Because I am, and it was a horrible realization that I've literally spent my entire career waiting for the hammer to fall. And it very rarely has. It's very rare that I've actually been, most of my leaving of jobs have been under my own volition of some form or another, which says something, right? It's not that I'm failing, but that's what it feels, that's what it's always felt like for me. And it's taken a long time to come to terms with that, and I still am. So what can I advise? Learn more. If you think you might be neurodiverse, even if you're not neurodiverse, find out what works for you. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses, right? What works for you? Where are you? Where do you add? Where are you the 10xer, right? If you think about your team, right, some people are good over here and some people are good over here,
Yeah.
right? Where do you, and some people are connectors. Some people are the people that join the dots between other people, or, manage the flow to make sure everybody's on track. It's not all about, software writing isn't about writing code. It sounds weird to say, but it's about solving problems. We build software to solve problems for the business we're working in, right? Which means that actually, one of the most useful things sometimes is asking the right question. Are you writing the right thing? If you spend 6 weeks writing the wrong thing, it's pointless. It's worth nothing. Where 10 minutes going, oh, this is the right thing. Half the time you write the software, they come back and somebody says, oh, it's not quite what I needed. It's what I asked for, but it's not what I needed.
Yeah.
So think about it from the bigger picture. Learn more, right? Explore more. Find out about yourself. Go and get support. Go and find out. You will, if you're neurodiverse. I can't speak for every neurodiverse person, right? As I said, everybody is such a broad spectrum. Everybody is different. Everybody's different generally, but you have to find the sweet spot where I am so lucky now. I get to work with a team of machine learning people as well. And I get to sit with a foot in multiple camps and join the dots. And I've asked the engineering question or the thought-provoking question, which has changed the direction of some of the research, right? So find your niche, right? It's not, if you don't fit the job, maybe you're in the wrong job, right? It's not a failure of you. You're in the wrong place. You thought you're in the right place because, that's the one that pays the money, or that's the one that looks good on the CV, right? A lot of people that I've known have worked at the big three, right? And they hate it because it can be a meat grinder, right? So it's not about, it's about finding something you want to do every day, right? You are going to spend so much of your career doing this job, right? This is 40 hours a week for 30 years, right? 30 to 40 years. Think about that for a minute, right? What do you want that job to be? And it's not all going to be roses, right? Sometimes you do need to put the work in, and you're going to need to learn, and you're going to need to adapt, and you're going to need to take chances. But try and, where you should be aiming for is a job that makes you go, oh, great, I'm going to go into work today and I'm going to do interesting things, whatever that is for you.
Yeah. 100%. Good. I mean, that was brilliant. I mean, hopefully it's hit home with a few people that are listening. Really appreciate you kind of opening up on that topic as well, because it's obviously been a journey, and it's a journey for you today, right? You continue to move through that.
It is.
So
Yeah, no, and I will say that, right? It is a continuous journey, right? I'm still learning about the people around me. I'm still learning about myself and what really works for me and how to maintain over time. But it's better to be. I'll tell you something that makes me a bit sad, right? Which is before my father. Well, my father passed away a couple of years ago, and this is really before I started this journey. And you look back now, and you look back through his career and his life, and you realize that he was the same. He's like me, which means that he never knew, not really. Which means if he was as punishing on himself as I have been, it makes me deeply sad.
and again, that's
And
purely
that,
because that was back then, and obviously he didn't have access to what you have access to now, with
no,
support and the clarity and the just being able to be open and honest and look for support. Which you're right is a shame.
yeah, we look at schools. I know even now, right? Schools, being at school can be a joy for some and a horror for others, right? Because the neurodiverse set are either, the fun nutters, right, or the troublemakers, or the edge cases, right? It's how do we support everybody on that learning journey? That really bothers me,
Yeah,
right? Because the system is still broken in many ways. It's better. We're aware that this stuff exists, and we're not just not fit, not educatable, right? These some of the neurodiverse people I've met are some of the brightest people I've ever had the pleasure to work with.
yeah, I can attest to that as well.
But it's, but I bet they didn't have fun at school. Maybe some of them did, right? If you're details focused, if you're into, memorizing things. I know some people that are just great at the fact stuff, which means like history and classics. They're great for those.
Yeah,
I'm not. I really struggle, right? But yeah, how can we make it better for everybody? That's my deeper question.
yeah, and it's a valid one for sure.